Well, we certainly learned a lot of new information from today's hearing, and here to help us break it all down is Congressman Adam Schiff, a member of that House committee investigating the January 6th attack. Congressman, thank you again for joining us. So many big headlines from this hearing today. What would you say would be the biggest takeaway that you believe the American people should pay attention to?
Well, I think, as you were mentioning, there was a pivotal meeting on December 18th in the White House where some of these outside allies of the president were trying to urge him to seize voting machines from these states that he lost. When his White House counsel and others on the White House staff refused to go along with the scheme, basically it was only hours later that Trump resorted to the mob. That's when he sent out that tweet, having failed through all these other extreme measures to overturn the election. He summons a mob to Washington. He knows they're angry because he's made them angry by lying about the election. And he knows they're armed. He's told they're armed, and he still wants this angry, armed mob to descend on the Capitol. And to me, that's pretty damning evidence of the president's intent and his willingness to endanger the lives of others.
And speaking about intent, premeditation, what did today's hearing demonstrate about the president's control over that mob?
Well, it demonstrated that on January 5th, as that mob starts to assemble on the Mall, he is really excited by the number of people that are coming, and he's excited by how angry they are, because he knows he can use their anger, he can use their size, in his view, to intimidate Congress. The only thing left to cement the final result of the election is that January 6th special session where the Congress counts the votes, that counts the electoral votes. So he is excited because he thinks this last-ditch effort, deploying the mob, might help him stop the peaceful transfer of power, and he's willing to do it.
And key elements of that mob, some of them taking leadership positions and storming the Capitol, were these far-right groups, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys. Describe the particular danger that they posed on that day and whether, according to one of their former spokesmen, they are still a threat.
They are very much still a threat, and the former president's bond with those groups continues to pose a threat. These are militant groups. These are white nationalist groups. They have leadership that wants to be essentially the armed militia for Donald Trump. At least it did on January 6th and preceding that date. And as the witnesses testified today, they're willing to use arms in a rebellion against the U.S. government. It's the kind of thing you see in third world countries. We're not used to seeing in the United States of America, but their ideology, their willingness to use violence continues to pose a real threat. It's one of the reasons why the FBI assesses that the domestic terrorism threat now exceeds the threat of terrorism from off our shores.
Wow. There are so many things I want to ask you about it. I wish we had more time. I want to get to this thing that happened at the very end. Your colleague, Representative Liz Cheney, saying that the former president attempted or telephoned a witness who is set to testify. What do you think of that? There was obviously a referral to the Justice Department about that. Is this an attempt to tamper with a witness? What should happen? What's going to happen?
I think it was certainly an effort to influence the testimony of that witness. Now, because the witness refused to go along with it, we don't know what precisely the president was going to tell that witness. But we know that the president was trying to intervene to influence their testimony. And we want to call him out on it so that other witnesses know, too, if they get an approach from the former president prior to their testimony, they need to let us know about it. And we also want the former president, others around him, to know that we are watching very carefully any effort to influence or intimidate a witness in any way, and we will make sure that evidence gets to the Justice Department.
All right, Congressman Adam Schiff of Southern California, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you after the next hearing, we hope. Thanks.
Thank you.